What you do, pass gas?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to another live edition of the Extra Point After Dark. The gang is all here. Got the hit squad with me today. Got Miss Tasha T Sizzle in the middle square, Hollywood Square, and
Wait a
making
minute, let me
his
get this. Oh,
triumphant return to the split screens, my man, Mr. Michigan Mike, Michael Hasso.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna talk some NFL quarterbacks on this edition of the Extra Point After Dark. But before we do, Miss Tasha T Sizzle, will you please let the people know who this great show is sponsored by?
it is sponsored by May James Coffee. That's MAEJANES coffee.com. Go on there and get your Colombian blend, your Honduran blend, and your Brazilian blend of coffee. It is a company started by my daughter. So please support her and order coffee. That's mayjamescoffee.com.
That is MayJamesCoffee.com. Sorry about that. All right, let's get right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it. Hit squad. All right, we have a Super Bowl that, dare I say, of epic proportions. We have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike, since this is your triumphant return, you were one of the people back in the fall. Look at him grinning already, Tasha, like a Cheshire cat. Um, you were one of the people from day one that said that Tom Brady would have Tampa Bay back in the championship game. He did you one better. Your thoughts?
Man, I think it's great. I also have to stick behind what I predicted, and that was that Kansas City was gonna to win another one. It's hard, because Tampa's rolling right now, so it's pretty impressive to see what he can do, and especially being the first team that can have home field advantage in the Super Bowl. So that's never been done before.
Right. And Tasha, your thoughts on what Tom Brady was able to accomplish?
I hate it
Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Why do you hate it, Tasha?
because I hate Tom Brady. Tuck rule. There was Jerry Rice and Charles Woodson Super Bowl that year. I hate him.
Um, uh, Mike, was that a bad call in the Tuck Rule game?
No, it wasn't a bad call. I mean, it was just it wasn't in place at the time. So I mean, luckily it did happen so that they could adjust the rules. But I mean, it would have been different if the rules were already in place and then they were like, oh, we should make something like this happen. But I
Right.
agree.
They found the rule for Brady because he fumbled it. He fumbled that ball. And they gave them all that time to clear out a path for Vinatieri to go ahead and kick the game winning field goal.
So you don't believe in Tom Brady's ability as being one of the greatest?
No.
Oh, you know what, Mike? That was a great segue question because when I get the hit squad together, I like to just kind of sit back and enjoy the show. I got my popcorn right over here to the side. So let's get right into that, fellas and fellette. Tom Brady is one win away from his seventh Super Bowl. Am I correct on that?
Seven.
I got the numbers right.
Mm-hmm.
If
Championship,
he
yeah.
if he accomplishes that, is he or is he not the greatest professional athlete of all time? Pick a sport. I'll let you go first, Mike.
Two. Go
Oh,
ahead,
okay.
Mike.
I don't know if greatest of all time. I will say that he's up there, especially being in football. Like being in football is it's hard to do because it's not just five people that you're learning to play with, or let's say in NBA at most 10 people, first and second. In football, you gotta work with a lot of brand new people, and they come in, they come out. You got to work with a new line, all, wide receivers, defense, and just be a captain all around. And for him to go from the AFC, I mean, you can even let's say Tasha's right, and he keeps getting these kind of flags or these rules, and okay, let's throw three of his championships away. For him to go from the AFC to the NFC and still do the same thing, like, come on, you got to give him credit.
kind of LeBron-esque, might I say, that what he did last year, going from the East where he was talked about to go, I'm going to get LeBron in this, to go over to the West
There
and
they
win it
go.
all.
There they go. Every
Tasha.
time you talk about champions and GOATs, LeBron James fan got to pull LeBron James out their ass. LeBron James.
Don't make me go get
LeBron
the crown.
That's they won.
He whooped Joe Louis. You know what? Tasha, what say you? Is he the greatest professional athlete of all time if he gets this one done?
Of course not. I agree with Mike. I think
What?
as far as being being a perfect, to me, Tom Brady is, I mean, I know this is going to sound really, really superficial. His body in general, he's not a good athlete. He is, I'm not, even though I hate him, he is an exceptional quarterback. He is, because Brady uses what they all like to say, above the shoulders. He uses his head, and I do think he benefits from a lot of calls. But I mean, I even go back to real athletes, like somebody like Jim Brown. Look at the physicality of them. That's when I think of athlete. That's what I think of. Tom Brady is not an athlete to me, because he doesn't use the physical part. And when you think of athletics, you think of physical. You don't think about, other, like the things that they're saying that's making him a great, the greatest of all time. Because he couldn't go and perform and do things. Like, even you take that back to LeBron. LeBron could play football. LeBron can play basketball. He could probably play baseball. That's an athlete to me.
Okay, fair enough on both of y'all's part. So let me rephrase it then. So does this give Tom Brady the most accomplished sports resume of all time?
Yes.
Mike?
yeah. I'm gonna definitely agree with that. That's what he's doing is crazy. And I mean, yeah, we can talk about LeBron and how he came over and from the East and to the West and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he brought over or took over one dude. He's like, hey, AD, come on over here too. And then they ended up winning. If he didn't do that, there's no way. I mean, for Tom Brady to say, hey, Gronk, he pretty much built that whole team by himself. And even the coach said it. He's like, hey, I just sit back and let him coach. Like, Belichick didn't do that, and he wouldn't let him. So, of course, he chunked up the deuce and was like, all right, I'm going to go over here then. And that's kind of what Aaron Rodgers needs to do, but we'll get into that.
We're going to get into that right now because your segue game is on point. I can see you had your vegetables tonight for dinner because you own it. A-Rod. Now, last Friday, they were touting this matchup as the GOAT versus the BOAT. The greatest of all time versus the best of all time. Is he still the BOAT in your eyes after dropping yet another NFC Championship game, this time at home? What's your thoughts on that, T Sizzle?
I was just waiting to tweet out RELAX. I was waiting to tweet that and put it on Facebook. And that's a bad man. I was waiting for Steph by. I was waiting for that. But I can't say he's the best of all time because, like we discussed, he's too accomplished of a quarterback to not make better decisions. And
now wait a minute. There's a decision in particular that bothered you that he didn't make this weekend, right?
Right. And that's running in for that touchdown. Even if they turned the camera around and showed, what he had in front of him, which was basically nothing. He could have ran and cut the corner. He could have at least got them close enough where they could have gone for it on a fourth down, not a quarterback sneak or a run. Anything could happen. He had enough room, and he had a few, he got some wheels on him. He could have made that. He didn't even try. By David. He didn't even try.
So David Hernandez checking in from Arlington, Texas says that Tom Brady is the GOAT, I suppose, gang. I guess he's in agreement with y'all?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Marcus Stone, too, because he agrees with me.
Right. Shouts out to Marcus Stone. Shouts out to Steph checking in. Shouts out to Sasha, we did promote the brand. Now, Mike, I haven't really heard you be vocal about Aaron Rodgers one way or the other. What are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers as a generational talent? Is it Brady and everybody else, or does he still belong in the boat conversation?
So the difference is, I mean, we pretty much saw the difference over the weekend, and he has the talent. He has everything that it needs to be for a quarterback. Now, where he can't get over that hurdle is what Tom Brady has that most people don't, and that's taking control of the game no matter what your coach says. Like, you have to be able to be like, no, coach, we ain't going for this field goal. We need to win this
Right,
game because Tom Brady's
right.
on that other side, and he knows what he needs to do. I'm going to take over this game, and I'm going to go for it. But you know what it is?
Right.
He's afraid. He's afraid to fail, and he doesn't want that to come back on him. So he's like, nah, you're going to make the call because when it comes down to it, they're going to blame you as the coach for making that play. But we see through that. Like, we're pretty knowledgeable about the game, and we're like, the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. We can even throw Peyton Manning in there. Peyton Manning, no way would have kicked that field goal. He would have been like,
Oh, no
nah,
way.
audible.
Oh no. Oh shucks would have been going, been like, coach, audible.
Yeah.
I'm calling this play. He would have
Right.
it would have been a touchdown. Yeah, they would have went for it.
Yep.
They should have. They sure would have. And I got some receipts to back up what Mike said. That he's one of those careful, I don't want to make a mistake type quarterbacks. There's a reason why his touchdown to interception ratio is so low every year because he'll just throw the ball away. He'll give up on a play. He won't force the ball into coverage. When you saw some of Tom Brady's throws, hey, that one he threw to oh my God, number 14. I'm losing my thought here. The receiver late in the first
him.
him, dude. Chris Godwin. Yeah, like Aaron Rodgers didn't make that throw because he doesn't want to mess up his efficiency rating. He doesn't want to mess up his numbers. The man is mobile. I don't understand why he plays so conservatively, especially when you realize that he has more in-game experience than his head coach, Matt LaFleur, who was only in his second season as head coach.
But the thing is, he threw that ball into double coverage for a touchdown. That could have been intercepted. They batted the ball down. Had he ran, they would have scored. He threw a ball into double coverage. Incomplete.
They would have scored.
If he was that worried about his stats, he should because Elway ran it in and did that helicopter. Why? Because he wanted that Super Bowl victory. And Elway was out there put together with some string and tape.
And even Chad Henne. Look at Chad Henne. He did the same thing.
Right. Chad Henne was like, I'm going for it, boss.
The whole time he was running, I was like, ooh.
Hey, the hat says it all, Michigan Mike. Those Michigan quarterbacks get it done when it's supposed to get done. And for you Michigan fans out there, stay tuned. We're going to touch on them in a little bit. Now, I want you to address what Marcus Stone just put up here on the screen. Michigan Mike. Brady didn't win the game. The defense saved him, period. Your thoughts on that?
No. I mean, the Bucs have a good defense, but their defense is nowhere even close to a team that can stop Mahomes. And we're going to see that on the 7th. But for them, what saved them was Tom Brady that last drive because they ended up kicking that field goal. Tom had it out. They're like, okay, we just need 2 first downs and this game over. The defense wasn't out there doing that. If the Packers defense stopped them, then that's when you could say that. But that's not what happened. Brady ended up winning that game,
even with his 3 interceptions in the second half.
Thank you.
Hey, he still made the right plays at the right time, and all 3 of those weren't his fault. There was one tipped, and there was one where he instantly got hit as soon as he was dropped back. So I'll give you one.
Let me push my glasses up too. Now,
you're gonna make me clutch my Vice President Kamala Harris, aka Pearls. When he said that.
Now I'm torn on this because Brady looked awful in the second half, and I really thought Green Bay was going to walk them down. But at the same time, he looked so remarkable in the first half that I thought that was the knockout punch anyway. Once they went up 21-10 with that late touchdown at the end of the half with seconds left to go, to me that was ball game.
Yep.
That's what I thought so much that I even took a walk on the beach and I came back. It was the
Oh, now
fourth
that's a
quarter.
flex. That's a
No,
flex.
it's
You know, ain't no beaches
not a
in
flex
Texas.
because I was thinking, yes, it is third coast. Come on, third coast.
She hanging
Oh,
on
I
the rim
mean,
over there.
right. Tech,
she
Tiandra.
like, she like, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just over here chilling on the beach.
I mean,
Oh,
I
Bella
did
Blue
because I
out
was
there.
thinking. I said I don't want to see this. I said let me take a break because I was getting frustrated. Let me just go out here, get a little cardio in, and come back. And when I came back and the game was closer, I was like, I said, let me sit down and watch this.
Now let's go to David Hernandez's question that's up on the screen for everybody to see. Either one of you two, feel free to jump in and take this. Is A-Rod done in Green Bay? I want to know the answer to that one myself.
Go ahead, Mike. You
Okay.
got it.
If he isn't, then he needs to take control of that team. And what I mean is, he needs to be like, all right, I'm done with y'all bringing in talent. I'm going to let y'all know who I want, and I'm going to bring them here, and I'm going to call the plays. I think he just needs to take control. I wouldn't say that he needs to leave because then it's just going to be the same thing. He just needs to do that in Green Bay. I think he has a good following. He has good ownership around him that they'll listen to him. Like, he still has a lot of years left. So I say he stays.
Tasha?
I was thinking that too. He has to learn how to be more vocal because I mean, he does have he's a good quarterback. You know, we can't take that away from him. He needs to be more vocal. And like you said, LaFleur is only what 2 years, and what is Aaron Rodgers 37, 38 years
He's
old. You have
37.
enough experience to tell a coach yes or no. He needs to be a decision maker. He needs to. I don't think you ruin your legacy. Well, I don't say necessarily ruin his legacy, but I don't think you need to team hop. You're not the person that needs to team hop this
Does
late in your
the does
career.
the Now let me ask you this. Does drafting Jordan Love in the first round last year have a play in this decision now that you've gone to two straight NFC championship games with Aaron Rodgers, two losses under Matt LaFleur? Does that make LaFleur go up to the front office and say, hey, it may be time for the youth movement? Or do you just stash a first round pick that you moved up to get for a whole nother season?
But if Jordan Love is going to be shaky like Aaron Rodgers to make those in-game decisions, you might as well keep Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I think it's not that's not the problem. Aaron Rodgers needs to, I mean, like what we were saying, he just needs to lead the team. And no matter what quarterback you put in there, you're going to have the same problem just with less talent at quarterback. So I say leave him in there and just kind of have a heart to heart and be like, hey, this is your team. You can do what you want. What do we need to do to get you over there?
Right. Now, Langston brings up a good point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, LaFleur came from Nashville as the offensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans when he went to Green Bay, and they didn't consult Aaron Rodgers. That's why they had that rocky relationship in year one. Should Aaron Rodgers want to stay in that situation, knowing that his voice may be not being heard like that? Should he want to force his way out like a Deshaun Watson is trying to do?
I mean, the thing is, he has the team in the palm of his hands. He just needs to stop taking these subtle jabs and these shots like when you and your brother are going back and forth. You know, you and your
Yeah,
brother don't get along. Stop taking these
right.
subtle jabs. Open your mouth and say what the fuck what needs to be said. You need to say it.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he has everything. He has all the collateral behind him. Like, he has all the ammo. It's pretty much like going to war with against like one person and you just walking away. Like, no, you show up there and you're like, look, this is my team. It's gonna be my way or you're out. Like, you call. Like, which one you want to go?
Now, speaking of walking away, we wanna introduce a new segment on the TEPAD, and that is as Judge Hasso. We got Judge Hasso here, and we have two litigators that are trying to make opposite pleas. And Mike, you're going to be the deciding vote here. And the topic is, and for everybody out there watching, is Philip Rivers a Hall of Famer? I'm going to start. Hell no, he's not a Hall of Famer. He's not. And here's why I say he's not a Hall of Famer. because stop it. I'm trying to be serious. Hold on. All right, Judge my honor, Judge your honor. I respectfully come before your court right now with these receipts. The man played 17 seasons in the NFL, only made 7 playoff appearances, no Super Bowl appearances. Yes, he was tough. Yes, he had a 2-1, and I'm not going to steal some of her thunder because she has a compelling case as well. Yes, he was a tough man. Yes, he was the face of a franchise. Yes, you could count on him. Yes, he was dependable. No, you couldn't count on him in the playoffs. Now, this guy, for 17 years, he was not able to be a first team All Pro. He didn't go to a Super Bowl. He didn't get an MVP. He didn't beat any of the mainstays, any of the main figureheads. And this was all while having a Hall of Fame running back in LaDainian Tomlinson for a number of years. You had a Hall of Fame to be tight end in Antonio Gates. You had a Hall of Fame defensive linebacker in Junior Seau,
Junior
may he rest in
Seau.
peace. You had Marty Schottenheimer coaching the team. You went 14-2 twice. Got walked down in your
He
first
also
home
had
game.
North Turner for a few years.
Had North Turner, the architect of the Big Three's run in Dallas in the early 90s. You had pieces around you, Phillip Rivers. You know, maybe if you was working in the playbook instead of the slaybook every all season, you have a little more success on the field. Yes, stop it, Tasha. So Judge my honor, I respectfully request that we deny Phillip Rivers access into the most elite club in all the sports, the Professional Football Hall of Fame. I rest my case.
Okay, Your Honor. When I said North Turner, I was being smart because we saw what he did when he was coaching the Washington football team. I should be able to rest my case. The poor guy had to suffer under that. But I wrote out a list of names. You got your one. Let me go to my piece of paper here. You got Mr. Dan Fouts.
This is Exhibit A.
You got Jim Kelly. You got Warren Moon.
Oh, don't do Warren like
And
that.
you also
I
have
object, Your Honor. That's not fair.
You got Fran Tarkenton. All of them are in the Hall of Fame with no Super Bowl appearances. Okay, then you
That's
throw
dirty.
in
You playing
Marino,
dirty pool, Tasha.
Then you throw in Dan Marino, who did make it to a Super Bowl but did not win.
Jim Kelly made it to the Super Bowl.
Now, yeah, but they didn't win. But he didn't win. He went to what, 4? And you know the kicker screwed him. The kicker screwed
Only
him.
in one. Only in one.
So I have a list of stats. Now I'm going to go off the screen because I sent this to Paul, but I have to pull it up to read these stats. 8-time Pro Bowler, number 5 in career passing touchdowns, 5 in career passing yards, number 5 in career completions, number 12 in career passer ratings. He never missed a game, which was 252 straight starts. And he played through a torn ACL in the 2007 AFC title game. Not to mention, he is ahead of Manning and Roethlisberger in passer rating, passer yards, touchdown to interception ratio, and completion percentage.
Damn.
I rest my case.
I object, Your Honor.
I think T Sizzle would have won based off of stats if that was their case, and you could get to the Super Bowl with just stats. However, since the game is football and it is, I believe, a team game, I've never heard any good remarks about Phillip Rivers and how he's a horrible leader. And that's probably why he didn't get to the Super Bowl. So I would say he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Judge my honor.
I object, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Look, I'm getting ready to throw my badge like Shaft did in the movie at your head.
You out of order. You out of order.
And And I'm ready.
I don't.
And I'm
You
ready
can't
to
handle the
appeal.
truth.
I need to appeal.
All right, so now that we got that out of
I'll
the way,
rip your head off and piss in your damn skull. You fuck with the wrong Marine.
who are you, Nino? Okay, so let's go here. Let's go with the way too early Super Bowl prediction. Mike, who wins Super Bowl 54?
Kansas City, based off of their defense. Their defense is elite.
T Sizzle.
Kansas City. I mean, the Kansas City. And not because
Look,
I hate Brady.
I knew what you were going to say. I'm shocked that...
You know, one of my favorite players is Ndamukong Suh. I would love for Suh, because him and his lovely wife, they got twins on the way. You know, Ndamukong Suh always had this bad rap for being a dirty player. He's a good ass player. And when he was at Nebraska, wasn't he like in the running to get the Heisman Trophy?
He was.
Back in the day. You know, I love Ndamukong Suh, but I mean, I'm with Mike. I just really think as long as Mahomes' toe, that turf toe they're trying to cover up or whatever, is well enough, Kansas City should win.
Mike, I am shocked and appalled that you went against Brady after riding with him all the way up to the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is in Tampa. They don't even have to move that big old ship.
They already played one. They already played one time, you know, in Tampa, and of course, Kansas City won by 3. The only thing, it's going to be a good game. The only thing that I'm a little suspect on is what if Brady knew they were going to play them in the Super Bowl? I mean, you look at the stat sheet. They only had Fournette only had 3 attempts rushing. Antonio Brown only had 3 receptions. Like, what if he just unleashes the dogs on them? You know, I don't know, but I'm just saying, based off of Kansas City's front 7 and their secondary, like overall, their whole defense is elite.
Honey Badger's a monster. He's a problem.
And Frank Clark, I mean, shouts out, go blue.
Go blue, go blue.
But yeah, I got to go with that defense, man.
Wow,
Tyreek Hill and who? Because it was hilarious.
And Travis Kelce.
Yeah, Travis Kelce.
I'm at a loss for words. I didn't think in a million years that you would go against Brady now after he's knocked off basically the dream team of quarterbacks from his own generation and the generation that came after him.
Well, you gotta. I mean, you can replay. You probably got receipts back in the day, but before the season started, I said Bucks against Kansas City, but Kansas City's going to repeat. So I got to stick with that.
Yeah.
You saw how now he had to get his flex in there. Gonna have me going back watching the old archive reels. But good call by you. I had Seattle versus Kansas City because I was running with the Fighting Sierras, and that blew up in my face. So there's that. Now speaking of blowing up in the face, finally.
Don't you believe it?
Don't you believe it? They was wrong for that on Looney Tunes, by the way.
The white mouth.
Finally, after years of futility, Matthew Stafford is finally getting his walking papers. He's getting to go find him a new hub, a new place to play. Now, I personally believe, and I'm very nervous that he's on the loose, because the last thing I want him to do is to land in Indianapolis again, because they keep finding quality quarterbacks over and over again, and they were 11-5 without him. Should Matthew Stafford be looked at ahead of the Dak Prescotts of the world and maybe the Deshaun Watsons of the world when you're looking to shop for a quarterback this year that you may have to trade for? What say you, Tasha?
No. And then on top of that, allegedly, well, from what I was reading, Detroit is asking for a first-round pick. See, they just want a first-round pick because they're trying to recoup some of that money that they done paid him. He wasn't even worth that much money. Now, we know that, the Lions they're always.
See, even Bella didn't believe that. Bella told you to raise up.
It's the motorcycles and the dogs. If they hear noise, they always.
No, she told you to raise up.
Mm-hmm.
But he's never really been an elite or he's decent. I mean, it's like when he was,
Just
remember when
decent.
because he's from Texas, right? When he was
Yes.
in a junior in high school, they were talking about, oh, he's the first round talent. What you see how that turned out. I mean, he's all right, but he's not anybody that I'm gonna be like, yeah, let me give you this first round for. That
Not
no,
even a first
he needs
round
to be
pick.
gone
Just
because he's no, he hasn't. How has he helped the Detroit Lions? I mean, they need because they couldn't even win with Barry Sanders. I mean, how has he helped the
right.
Detroit Lions?
Mike, help me out here. What say you?
I actually like Stafford and think that he was wasted in Detroit. I mean, you have to look at the
Because
numbers
he's a
too.
waste.
You have to look at the numbers and what he did or what he gave Megatron. If he didn't give Megatron his numbers, like then it would be like, man, you're suspect. But no, I think if he's fit into a perfect scheme, they could actually go pretty far. I would even look at something to where like the Saints. Let's be real, Drew Brees, you're done. You can't throw the
He's
ball
done.
anymore.
He's
Stafford
done.
can still throw the ball, and you have a good running game there. You have some good core talent there. All Stafford needs to do is throw the ball and run a couple times, and you're good to go. I think the Saints would be a great spot for him.
For a first round
That
pick.
boy
Is he worth
is
the first
good
round
and
pick in your opinion,
terrible.
Mike?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it,
I'm
if you get a first round, you're gonna have to wait another 1-2 years unless you get in Mahomes, but there's no Mahomes talent right now. So
Right. Right. Well, let's think. Well, since we're talking quarterbacks, these two names just popped in my head, and Mike, you'll be the best person to start this off with: Carson Wentz or the backup kid. Help me out, Tasha.
you're talking about Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, or Jalen Hurts.
Jalen
Who are you
Hurts.
going forward with if you're the Philadelphia Eagles?
Man, you already know this answer. Come on, now you ask me that almost every
Hey,
week.
but Mike, we got the people out here watching.
I've been waiting for Hurts to come out there.
Mm-hmm.
I've said since day one that they're probably just going to be tanking halfway through the season because Hurts went out there, was like 1 for 1, had like a 60-yard pass, and then he sat down on the bench. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? I think that they were trying to keep him healthy throughout the rest of the season and tanking a little bit, get you a top pick. Man, Jalen Hurts all the way.
Yeah.
Tasha, what say you? Sasha says Jalen Hurts.
Well,
What
that's
does
because she
Sasha's brother
has a
say?
crush on him. No,
Oh,
I'm with.
I
I
hope
mean,
Sasha's growing up.
Carson Wentz is done. I mean, he's done. He needs to move on. He needs to pack his shit, put his big boy pants on, stop complaining, you're out here demanding to be let go or traded like you are just some superstar. Like you're not that guy. Jalen Hurts, I was a little skeptical because you think with those top-notch receivers that they had at Alabama, he still got replaced by Tua. He went to Oklahoma,
Oh, don't get Mike
and
started on Tua.
he still wasn't that effective as far as throwing the ball. So I was surprised when Hurts did get in, and I was like, he surprised me. But I think it's time to move on. Jalen Hurts deserves his chance to go ahead and play. Let the boy play.
No, Mike, you say this out loud. If you're the Miami Dolphins, let's come back to you, Mike. If you're the Miami Dolphins, is it worth a first round pick or Tua to go get Stafford and a much older, more expensive quarterback?
That's not the right scheme for Stafford. I would be more inclined to get Deshaun Watson in that spot.
Now,
And yes, I would do that.
If Stafford can get a first round pick, you're gonna have to give up the kit, the caboodle, and the poodle for Deshaun Watson, and Miami may have the assets to do so. Last I heard is that he was eyeing New York.
Yeah.
The Jets out of all teams.
That's where people go to die. Come on now.
That is where people go to die. That's no, I don't know about that. Tasha, your thoughts on Tua as the pro? Because I think the kid just needs a second chance, another season on this belt.
Shoes, sir. The boy went to get some shoes. He he just needs a chance. I mean, the Bulldogs put a hurting on him. Do you know where that came from? Glory, when they beat Denzel and he had to tear and they run the Oscar shoes. The boy wanted some shoes.
Mike, what?
But then
Tasha,
but no, I think Tua could have waited a little bit. I'm not. To me, Fitzpatrick is just what he is. He shows spurts of flash, and then he turns into what he really is, a quarterback from Harvard. So Tua, I think Tua just needed a little time. I think when he I think if he goes into this year with no pressure on him, I think he will perform better. But when you have all these people in the background saying we can get rid of Tua, we can do this with Tua, that's gonna sit in that boy's mind, and I think he'll struggle. I think Tua is okay, but Flores actually had them playing good this year. They looked good. They just didn't make it into the playoffs. They had a winning record when they haven't had a winning record in years.
And normally, under normal circumstances, 10-5, 10-6 to get you into playoffs in either conference. So this year might have been an anomaly.
But you had the NFC least.
Y'all being too nice. Y'all being too nice over there. You're talking about the first year that they actually gave more of a playoff. They gave more spots in playoffs. You'd be like, oh, well, maybe next year you'll get that spot. You did really good. Nah, football is not about that, and football is a mental game. I'm going to pull out my Stephen A on y'all and be like, hold up. Like, come on. We got to call it what it is. And if he has to be mentally strong. He ain't the starter quarterback. He's done.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Mike. Like with him coming in off of that, that injury, coming in and having to play, but they said he was healthy, so that meant he should have been ready to play. But I think the whole, this is my NFL start, I'm taking over from a guy who was actually winning. If I get in here and lose, what are they going to say about me? And then again, next year, with all this talk about who's going to Miami and replacing Tua and trading Tua, he needs to be mentally strong to be able to overcome that. We'll see. We'll see this year when the season starts.
Did you see the overtime pass to Devontae Smith in the national title game? Can we give him credit for that?
Oh,
the boy, he had the flicker with the left wrist. It was the flick of the wrist. And then, like Tasha said, he came into a winning situation this season and kept the ball rolling. Flores will snatch him out in the fourth quarter a time or two, which I think can only kill a quarterback's confidence. So Flores, you got to get it together with that. Either you're gonna ride or you're gonna die with this kid. And to double back the previous segment, I think Carson Wentz should be the starting quarterback next year. Go Cowboys. I think he should be the starting quarterback.
Now you say go Cowboys, but this season you were like, I'll forget the Cowboys.
And they forgotten. Look, not only forget the Cowboys, they're forgotten. Do you notice that the league went by just fine without America's team on Sunday Night Football?
Your quarterback's ankle was like this the last we saw, and then y'all
That's messed up,
because his ankle was dangling.
That's messed up. No, it was looking more like
Hell State.
Like this one.
Hell State.
Like a hell, yeah. It was laying over to the left.
Y'all must have had that Dak filter because that looks exactly like it.
Hey, if you're Jerry Jones, you have to be concerned that the league rolled on without you this year. They were snatching the Cowboys off Sunday Night Football. We didn't even bat an eye. They didn't make the playoffs. We didn't care. They ain't in the Pro Bowl. We don't care. They're not in the Super Bowl. We don't care. There were so many more compelling stories that the NFL would still kept to train. Is it time to put America's team name, the name America's team, like up for grabs for another team to be able to get? Because America moved on without the Cowboys this year.
But see, I think, and I thought about this actually a while ago. I think they are America's team because their apparel, they're just popular as far as that. But as far as their play, they're not really America's team because they're the top selling, like as far as apparel for any team. any
Yeah.
team. And I think that's what makes them America's team. And then you have like a lot of like Hispanics who, when because of the Mexicans right there with Texas, that's what they see. So of course they say, okay, we're going to get this Cowboy stuff because that's where we are. Just even kind of like with the Cardinals. The Cardinals have a strong Hispanic following as well. Even though the Cardinals are, definitely not in the realm of the Cowboys, but I think it has something to do with the fact that they sell more merchandise.
Well,
And you see more people with Cowboys gear.
working down the street from the stadium now and being able to kind of be there on game days, although it's COVID game days, you're right. The Hispanic population shows up and it comes out to those games. They spend the money, they tailgate, they all have on their jerseys, their apparel. And that's not going to change. That I mean, like that's not going to change. Now, if the rest of us fans could not be as farewell, because I just tossed them off the side of the boat when Tennessee started off fast this year. It's like, hey, move out the frame, will you? Get out of here. So yeah, Mike, thanks for telling the world that I turned my back on them boys this year, because I did.
It's okay. I mean, it's the Cowboy way, right? That's what we make fun of Cowboys fans about. Like they hit one little loss and it's like, oh man, forget that team. We need a new coach. We need new players. And as soon as they win one game, it's like, see, guys, we can still get the playoffs. Like, man, go sit
that
down
is
somewhere.
so accurate. I'm
I mean,
hold up.
I mean, as many tickets that they always have up for grabs at their home games. Like, you have Cowboy fans who own these tickets and sell them. They don't even want to go to the game.
Right. He's right. But before you get us ran out of the DFW market, let's move on to the school that we all support. There was an interesting article that I read on mgoblue.com today that I want to get y'all's thoughts on. Now, just the other day, it was announced that Michigan Athletics is on a 14-day pause amid COVID concerns for the new strand. I got the name of it. It's called COVID-19 B.1.1.7. It's a variant of the original coronavirus, and out of an abundance of caution, the teams are not going to play right now. Now, today, it's been reported that the student athletes themselves have formed together, kind of like Ohio State did when they wanted to petition the Big Ten to play in the fall, that they're trying to petition the school to reverse course on that and let those kids back out there and play. Now, I'm gonna stay out of this one because I put my foot in my mouth in the fall, and I was begging for us not to play Ohio State. Michigan Mike, you up first. What should the university do? Listen to the students, or should they just keep them on pause for 14 days? Now, keep in mind for the people who are watching, the wrestling team, nationally ranked, the hockey team, nationally ranked, women's basketball, nationally ranked, men's basketball, nationally ranked. You say what, Mike?
I say stick with the 2 weeks to get it, controlled, to understand more about it. Like you said, I think the first time they got it wrong because they didn't understand everything. They didn't have enough information. So at least give them 2 weeks. And it's not like you said, we're nationally ranked in different areas. They're not going to be unranked because they're taking precautions. Like, that's one good thing that I think.
Moved up in the ranks this week, actually.
Yeah, I mean, because Iowa sucks, but we won't get into that one today. But yeah, I think sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Take get healthy. I mean, you could still, do what you got to do. I think it'll be right there, especially with all this relaxed downtime. We'll be geared up for March Madness for sure.
T Sizzle, you say what?
Let me get on my soapbox. Let me see up here. Elevate.
Is this Irish Spring or Dove? Should have come out of the glasses too.
Take these here spectacles off. Progressives, because I'm blind as a bat now. I said this from the beginning. They should not have played anyway. So these students don't need to be taking any kind of cues from the fuck eyes, trying to start petitions to say, let us play Sit y'all asses the fuck down. This is, I mean, this is nothing to play with. This, what, Mike? Did you fall? This is nothing to play with. I mean, I've had a friend who lost her sister to COVID. I've known people who have been affected by COVID. I had a friend who is a Michigan alum, her and her daughter, who is 10, and they say, oh, children can't get it. They both had it. Stop playing with this disease. Like, I mean, this pandemic, whatever the fuck it is, stop playing with this. Sit the fuck down, get your degree, make it out of college alive. Like, stop, like I said, you're nationally ranked. Hell, they made exceptions for the fuck eyes. They can make exceptions for us too.
I'm gonna go with look. I'm gonna because I was one of the ones that pushed for the football team to play, and then I was one of the ones that was relieved that COVID cost us a chance to get blown out by 80 points by the Buckeyes this year. So I'm not going to step in front of that bus again. But there was something that Mike said that I agree with 1,000% on this. Now, of course, I want the players to be safe and healthy and go on to live productive lives, start families, do all of that stuff. But I like the idea of rolling halfway through February with some fresh legs as we get ready for the conference tournament and rolling on into March Madness. You got 2 weeks off. You get a week off to kind of get those elements together, slowly ramp back up for a week, get your sea legs together, get you maybe a game against Northwestern, Penn State, Michigan State. Let's move it on to the conference and go on to the tournament because this roster has a legitimate chance to go all the way. This is a good team Michigan basketball has. Hockey team as well, but this is a good team that Michigan basketball has. And this could turn out to be a blessing in disguise for the coaching staff to self-scout, take some time out, watch their own film, just little bitty things that you wanted to see. We got our loss out of the way. Thank God we're not undefeated and having to stop for 2 weeks. That would have been all kind of pressure on them coming back. We got the loss out the way, and now we can just come back and play ball. I think that's going to turn out to be a good thing. And players, please, no, let's just sit down for these 2 weeks. It's only going to be 4 or 5 games, and we'll be back and better than ever. And with that will conclude the Extra Point After Dark with the whole crew in the building. Mike, you got any parting words?
No, I'm excited about the Super Bowl. I'm kind of torn because Kansas City has a lot of Michigan players, and of course I like Tom Brady, so it's going to be a good game. I'm excited.
So basically, he wins regardless.
A win-win.
T Sizzle.
No parting shots really. I'm just gonna, send out my prayers and my thoughts to one Miss Stephanie Denise Coulter in her recovery. Steph strong. I know
strong.
she always says, she's open to laughs because I always send her some type of joke or meme every day. And she laughs, and I know she's hurting when I make her laugh. But I know how Steph is. She loves to laugh and she loves to have fun. So that's all I have to say about that. And be safe, people, as I always say. Wear your mask. Wash your damn hands.
Right. And in conclusion, I just want to thank Michigan Mike and T Sizzle. Once again, the Extra Point After Dark is a way to highlight the people that you see who help produce the shows on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. on FBRN.US at Fishbowl Radio Network. Like they're my Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. And I feel like New Edition when they came out with that new album under Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. So God bless you, Michigan Mike. God bless you, T Sizzle. God bless you, everybody that was watching. And go blue. You know how we get down. Blue. We'll get y'all next week.
Go blue.
Now hold your smile while I end this broadcast.